You've been naughty, 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 Seattle, again. Today, a few hours ago, federal judge found that the city of Seattle and the actions of the police department were in contempt of the protection order and then of the additional protection order that was placed on August 10th. There was a number of claims in the filing that the ACLU had made on behalf of plaintiffs. There were others that were enjoined in that filing. And what the federal judge found is that there were four very clear instances where there were use of force violations. Out of all of the other ones they filed, the judge said, to paraphrase in very non-legal terms, because there's a 27-page legal document that we as a team kind of furiously read through. We got our hands on it about 5:30 today. But basically what it says is this. All the other complaints, no. But this isn't good news for Seattle police because candidly, when I looked at the evidence and I looked at the videos, this was a coin toss for me on yes or no. You went right to the line on the definition was that, and you broke it in these four cases. And so let's get into what that means. Here's the court filing. Mods, I know you have a copy of it. If we could put a link in the comments, if one of the mods or admins can drop the link in the comment. Don't read it while I'm talking. You can read it afterwards. But then you have the resource there. The other thing is that we're going to get a lot better at. We're going to get better at chunking out the show into the sections. And when we do that chunk just for this, we'll have a link to the court filing that's there. So this is the finding. It makes for riveting reading if you're into reading court documents. There were four key incidences that the courts highlighted. Two on September 7th, one on September 22nd, one on September 23rd. Hey, there's a certain TV station. No, we went back, we reread it three times. The August date is wrong. There's two incidents on September 7th, there's one on September 22nd, and one on September 23rd. So, September 7th, that's the SPOG Labor Day March, the SPOG Labor Day Rally. And so what was happening was, as protesters were moving, so this is after SPOG's initial engagement, and protesters are moving up the road on 4th Avenue South, heading northbound, a SPD bike officer rides up, comes up to some protesters from behind. The protesters are in full compliance by video from multiple angles. They present absolutely no threat. The officer kind of, confronts them a little bit and then pepper sprays them all. That's what OC is. OC is essentially pepper spray. And then pepper sprays all of them, directly targeting them in their face. They presented no threat of harm to the police, to property, to other protesters, to anybody. And so that was contempt finding number one, this incident on September 7th. The next one also was on September 7th. There was a glass bottle that was thrown. SPD had no suspects. It was on body cams. SPD officers are talking, going, did you see who threw it? I didn't see who threw it. Did you see? I didn't see it. Nobody saw they threw it. Somebody got a flashbang grenade and just indiscriminately threw it into protesters just because. You can't do that because there was no threat or harm. Now they threw bottles at them. Yes, they threw a bottle, but there was not a barrage of bottles coming anymore. Once the bottle hit the ground and broke, the threat was neutralized. They had no person. They did not know who to throw it at, who to target. So the court felt that this was an excessive use of force. The next incident was on September 22nd, 2020. Officer used blast ball to create separation. That was to move the protesters away from the line of police officers. There was no threat, and that is considered a violation of use for these less lethal munitions. And so this was the third incident. This officer's probably in real trouble with his buddies because he admitted that he did what he did. So I'm just saying, did blue line. The next incident was on September 23rd, 2020. Officers behind several rows of police officers threw a blast ball for no reason over the heads of his fellow officers, despite the fact that there was no threat to themselves or that line of officers. And that also was considered a violation of use of force per the federal temporary restraining order and per the additional restraining order that came down on August 10th. So what's the next steps? City of Seattle has until December 11th to respond. The response can be no more than 6 pages, and the court will then deem what the remedy will be by or on December 18th. So this is breaking news that's come out of Seattle and from the federal courts. We filmed on the 7th. And of course, we did our in-depth analysis on Corona Beer Box Dude, and we also filmed on the 23rd. We did not film on the 22nd. We technically filmed on the 24th, only because the 23rd carried over until almost like 1:30 or 2 in the morning, if I remember correctly. So we filmed. I think that was a borderline record day. I think we went about 7.5 hours on the 23rd and 24th. And again, the other thing is that the other incidents, the finding of the judge was there was nothing in there of like, quit your crying. There's nothing to complain about. The judge's view, and the judge states clearly in the filing, nobody should be going, ha, there was only 4. The rest of them, it was like, the judge is like, no, you shouldn't be happy about this because the rest of them, it's so close to the line. Like somebody else could have looked at it and gone the other way. Again, paraphrasing what's in the document, that's not legalese.